Any man give his life for YAHANNA Christ. Fall upon that I.S.U.P.K banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary.
One West till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. One West till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy, get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar night you listening. Get your heart bringing back this talk, make you live again. Get them dividends till we start getting ignorant. I be doing this soldier shit. I'm telling you shit phenomenal. Novelty a domino. So what you soldiers trying to do? Rhyming comical. This is funny until I dominate you. Bring apocalypse to the pussy niggas. Popping shit. Team my all-stars. I coach them up like a Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and the apologists. Hey, vagina, so we go check on my gynecologist. It's kind of obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. Cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era when niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid. Shit's got the retarded sense on the dominance. One West rising to prominence. Cause I be one West to the depth to the bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the depth till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the depth till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the depth till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. And when a nigga quiet, use my maneuvers. But I ride like I got group eyes.
All right, Shalom Israel, Yahbashim Yashai all the brothers, Yahshua Bashim Yashai, all the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer 50 Shar Yawan under Commanding General YAHANNA. And we are the I.S.U.P.K, which was started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Today is Friday's night Lashawan Qadash class. All right, every Friday night we got this class going for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, this class is for the children of God. This class is not for everybody. All right, we're teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans their original language. All right. We're going to get right into it. We're going to start off going over our alphabet like we do every class. All right. And we're just going to go over some review today. All right. So starting off our alphabet, we got 22 characters in the Hebrew. We have characters, not letters. These characters represent something. All right. Each of these characters means something. They're an image, a symbol. All right, it's a little different from the English language and a lot of these languages that are out there today. So starting off, we got Abba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, and a Tha. All right, this is our alphabet. Trying to get that up there quick. So take your time, look at it. If you need to write this down, take notes. The scriptures say rehearse righteous acts. All right, if you want to learn anything, you want to get better at something, you got to practice. All right? You're going to learn a new language, you got to practice. Right? And start off with what's easy. Start off with the basics. Right? Just like if you would teach a child how to learn English or French, right? You go over the beginnings of the language. You go over the alphabet. So this is the Hebrew alphabet. It has 22 characters. We have A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, Tha. All right. Those are the 22 characters of the Hebrews. That's something else that we go over in these classes. We also go over the Assyrian. And we also go over the Assyrian. And this is the Hebrew. This is the Hebrew that they speak, who those Khazarians speak, those fake Israelites, the house of Satan, as it says in the book of Revelation, those that say they are Jews and are not, but do lie, those are the synagogue of Satan, right? We're just paraphrasing. This is the language that they speak. Right? It's a little different. It's a little different from our language, the real Hebrew. But the reason we go over this in classes is because a lot of the texts that we have, because of different captivities that our ancestors went through, we have some of these scriptures written in Assyrian. A lot of the scriptures we have, the manuscripts we have, they're written in this Assyrian text. Right? So we have a Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Za, Wa, Ra, Sha, and a Tha. All right. So again, we have there's 22 main characters. 5 of the characters in the Assyrian, they have 2 characters, right? And what this is that, for example, if you see a ka at the end of a word, you'll use the second character here, the one on the bottom, right? If you have a ma at the end of a word, you would use this second character here, right? Same with a pa, same with a taza, right? And the na, right? Those are the 5 characters. We have ka, ma, na, pa, taza. Those 5 characters, they have 2 symbols. They have 2 different characters. And it's very important that when you're writing the Assyrian, it's important that you use the right one. All right? Especially for brothers in the school. If you want to become an officer in the school, right? There's a lot of Hebrew on the test. And it's important you understand. It's important you understand which characters to use. All right? And how to write out each one. So these are the 22 main characters we have. We have A, Ba. Let's separate these. All right, you have A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, Tha. All right. So if you'd like to see what the printed version looks like, these are the characters that we use. All right, it's the same thing that we just put up there. What you'll notice is what I have on the board is the handwritten. All right. What I wrote down is the handwritten for the Assyrian Hebrew, not the printed. All right. Take a look at that. Take a look. All right, so those are our characters. That's our alphabet. All right, so something we're going to go over next. All right. What we're going to go over next is the proper way to greet a brother and sister who's in the school. All right. You're a young man in the school. You're new to the school. You're a new sister in the school. All right. This is the correct way to address somebody. What was taught to me is that every time you see a brother or sister, you are to greet them. All right? When you're leaving, you are to salute them. You are to greet them. All right? And we need to carry on those traditions that we have in the I.S.U.P.K. All right? So how we would greet somebody, how you would greet a brother, let's write this out. You have shalom. Shalom. Now, this first word here, shalom, this is not how you salute somebody. But when you say shalom to somebody, that's just a part of saying hello, right? That's a part of making your presence known. That's a part of, in our culture, guys, stop. In our culture, you wouldn't just run up on somebody. You wouldn't run up on somebody unannounced, right? If you're going to approach a Black, Hispanic, or Native American man, right, you need to let them know you come in peace, right? Right? You wouldn't come up to a Black, Hispanic, or Native American man unannounced. You want to make your presence known, right? So you say shalom, right? Shalom, I come in peace. And then you salute a brother or sister, right? So how we would say it is shalom. How you salute a brother is Yahweh. Yahweh. And what you'll notice, two things you'll notice as I write this out. In the Hebrew, it's different from English. The Hebrew is read and written right to left. All right? When we read Hebrew, we read it right to left. We don't read left to right. All right? This is a little different from the English language. And something else you'll notice here is underneath the characters, we have something called connectors. Now, these connectors let us know how these characters are to be pronounced, right? For example, this word here, shalom. We have shalom. Right? Shalom. We have a shah. We have a shah, a la, and a ma. Right? Shah, la, ma. Shah, la, ma. But when we add these connectors underneath the symbols, they let us know how to pronounce the words. So, very simple. You can have a connector that is pointing downwards and a connector that's pointing upwards, right? Anytime you connect two characters, instead of pronouncing the ah at the end of the last character, these two words or these two symbols, right? These two symbols connect. So instead of saying la ma, we would say lam. Right? Instead of saying la ma, we say lam because this is connected. Right? So when we read this word, it's not shalama. This word is shalom. Right? Shalom. All right. So we would say to a brother, shalom, Yahweh. Bahasham. We have shalom, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Atha. All right. This is the proper way to greet a brother and sister. Salakia, that's the proper way that you would greet a brother. All right. Shalom, Barak, Ya Allah, Yahweh Bashim, Ashai Barakatha.
Shalom, Yabashim, Shabrakatah.
Hey, what's going on, warrior?
Not much. I want tuning in to class.
Come. Right, so we got the greeting. This is how we would greet a brother. Right, if you're tuning in, make sure you hit that sign-in link. I got the sign-in links in the chat. Before you leave the class, I'll post the sign-out links. Make sure you sign in and sign out. Right? And if you're coming in the class, if you're in the chat, go ahead and salute the brothers in the class. You see another sister in the chat, salute that sister, right? Salaki, one moment. All right. So again, this is the proper way to salute a brother. Shalom, Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Atha. Right? These connectors are important. For example, you see the Most High's name here. Right? Some people would call this the Tetragrammaton. Right? This is what atheists would call the Tetragrammaton. The reason atheists would call it the Tetragrammaton, because they don't want to use the Lord's name in vain. They don't want to say the name of the Most High, right? And so they have this, they would call it a fancy word. They call it a Tetragrammaton. But what this is the name of the Most High. You have a Yah, a Ha, a Wa, and a Ha. And because we have these connectors under here, it lets us know how to pronounce his name, right? It's not Jehovah. It's not Yehovah. It's not Yahweh. It's not Yah. It is Yahweh. All right? It's not Yahweh Ha either. I've heard brothers say that this is the Most High's name and we shouldn't mess with it, and that his name is Yahweh Ha. Right? But they don't understand that these connectors will change the way you pronounce these words. Right? It's important for brothers and sisters to get in the I.S.U.P.K and learn their language properly. Right? Learn it the right way. Join the school, learn the name of the Most High. Right? Learn the language, learn the Bible. That's what we do in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Right? We are not affiliated with any other Christian or Hebrew Israelite organization. You understand? And we are the only place on earth authorized to teach this Bible. That's exactly what we do. Right? So this is the correct way to salute a brother. Now let's break this down a little more. Because the only time this would change when you're saluting a brother is if you're saluting multiple brothers. Right? If you're saluting more than one brother, you would say a thun instead of a tha. Right? That word a thun just becomes plural. Right? So we had shalom. Shalom, Yahweh. Bahasham. Yahweh Shai. Barak. Atha. Right? Atha. All right. So we have a th, which is you, masculine, and you have a thun, which is you, but masculine plural. All right? Now let's break down what all these words mean in the English, right? So we have shalom, which means peace. Right? Like I said earlier, when you see a brother and sister, you don't want to come to them unannounced, right? Let them know you're there. Let them know you come in peace. Let them know you mean well, right? You say shalom, peace. And then we have Yahweh. Yahweh is the name of the Most High, right? A lot of people reference him as the Most High. It says it in the Bible, I believe, a couple times. I don't know how many to be exact. I'm pretty sure it says in the book of Psalms, it calls him the Most High. Some people say the Most High power, right? The Most High power, meaning the highest authority. Right? Some people say the Lord. You can say Lord in all capitals. If you were just writing it out. Sometimes when you look in the Bible, we have something called transliterations, right? Transliteration. What a transliteration is, it tries to do its best at, how would I say it? I think the definition is a predictable conversion. A predictable conversion of words. All right? That's what a transliteration is. Predictable conversion of words. We'll get into that a little more as we go on in the class, right? But when you read through the Bible, you'll see the Most High. Sometimes he's referenced as God, capital G. Sometimes it's the Lord, all capitals. Sometimes, no, I don't think, yeah, they do use Jehovah. I think you see Jehovah one time in the book of Psalms. It says, whose name alone is Jehovah. I think that's Psalms 81. Right? And Jehovah would be a transliteration. Transliteration of Yahweh. All right? So then we have Bahashem. So something you'll notice in the Hebrew is that we have something called prefixes. Right? And these prefixes are usually in front of a verb, a noun. And these prefixes, they help make sentences, right? They create sentences. They are possessive words, possessive pronouns, right? So sometimes when you're reading the Hebrew, you might see a word, some of the words look really long. And it's because they have different prefixes and suffixes in the word, right? Which help form sentences. So Baha Sham, we have Baha, which is in the. And then you have the root word sham, which means name. All right. To the young brothers in the school who want to become officers, learn the Hebrew, right? Come to class, learn the Hebrew. Some of these things are very important. Some of these things you should definitely take note of because it's things you will see if you want to become an officer. Definitely a lot of Hebrew on your officer's test. And it's important that we're very precise, concise and precise. We do things right. We dot our I's, we cross our T's. Everything's important. All right? So we have Yahawashai. Yahawashai is the name of who the world calls Christ. Right? It's a transliteration of the name Joshua. Right? Joshua is a transliteration of Yahawashai. And what Joshua means, what Yahawashai means, I think you can read about it in the book of Matthew chapter 1 and verse 21, if I'm not mistaken. It says, Mary shall conceive a son, and she shall call his name Yahawashai, and he shall save. Khan.
The last word, atam, I think it's supposed to be atam.
Oh, Khan, Salakia. We're doing the masculine. So when you're doing masculine is a thumb, feminine is a thun. Right? I gotta take a little more care when I'm writing this out. Right? A thumb is masculine. The na is feminine. Right? So Yahawashai, right, said Mary shall conceive a son, and she shall call his name Yahawashai, and he shall save. Right? That's what his name means. He shall save. All right? That is what Joshua means. Another way you can write it out is the Savior. Right? This is what this name means. Barak, and then we have the word Barak here, which means bless. All right? So when we're greeting a brother, it's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Barak Atha. If you're greeting multiple brothers, it's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Barak Atham. All right? And what that means in the English is may the Most High bless you in the name of who the world calls Christ. All right? May the Lord bless you in the name of Jesus. I don't like using that name Jesus just because of what I think it represents coming out of Christianity. Right? I prefer prefer using the word Christ. A lot of people know him as Christ in the Bible. Christ means anointed or the anointed. Right? So may the Most High bless you in the name of Christ. All right? That is a correct way to greet a brother in the school. All right, so we're going to write out how we greet our sisters. All right? If you're a sister, this is how you salute another brother or sister in the school. You're a brother, this is how you salute a sister. All right? Or multiple sisters, right? So again, we would say Yahweh. So this is Yahweh. Shamar. Yahweh Shamar. Al. Al-Atham. Basham. Basham Yahusha. Yahusha. All right. So this is the Hebrew on how to salute a sister. If you're a sister in the school, this is how you would salute a brother or salute another sister. All right. You would say Yahweh, Shamar, Al, Atha, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. All right, and we'll break down those words as well. Right. It's also good to practice the Assyrian. How this would look in the Assyrian. We would have Yahweh, Shamar, Al, Atha, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. All right. Right. Again, too, for brothers who want to become officers, the Assyrian is definitely important. Right. Make sure you're practicing that Assyrian. Right. Learn the Assyrian. Make sure you're using the right characters. For example, Ba'asham, you notice the ma, we have two different symbols. When you have a ma at the end of a word, it's a little different, right? If the ma was anywhere else in the word, it would look like this, right? But because it's at the end of a word, that's the character that we use, right? Yahweh, Shamar, Al, Atha, Ba'asham, Yahushai, right? That is a correct way to greet a sister in the school. All right. So let's break that down in the English. All right. We had Yahweh. We had Yahweh, Shamar. Right. Again, this is the name of the Most High. We have Shamar, which means to guard. To guard or to keep watch. Al. The word al means above. Right? Above or over. Something that's above you is over you. Al Atha. Right? So I'll write out each one. We have Athan. Feminine plural. It's a new. Right. So when we're speaking to a group of women, we would say Athan with the na, right? That's you feminine, and a thumb is you masculine, right? So Yahweh Shemar Athan, Ba'ashem. Then we had Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? Ba'ashem is in the name of Yahweh Shai. Let me write it out so you can see it. Hashem. All right. All right. If you're new to the school and you see different brothers and sisters speaking in Hebrew, don't be afraid to ask, right? Ask questions. Gonna bring out a verse really quick. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 6 and verse 36. It says, "And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door." All right, you're new to the school. You see a wise man of understanding, a brother in the school who's been in the truth 10 years, 15 years, right? Anytime you're able to speak to a brother who is a man of understanding, ask him questions, right? Ask him questions. Find out what he knows, right? That would be a wise thing to do. And that's a commandment from the scriptures, right? The Bible tells us to be wise, right? We're sheep amongst wolves, so we got to be as wise as a serpent, right? We got to gain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. During the school, you see all this Hebrew, right? You see brothers saying, "I am the Barth, the water, Shalom, Yahbashim Shabrakatha," right? Ma Shalom Ka, Shalom Yatawab. You see different brothers writing in the Hebrew. Ask them, what does this mean, right? Keep asking, keep rehearsing righteous acts. Practice the Hebrew. Come to class, right? This is how you'll take everything in. All right? So we're going to go over a couple words that you'll probably see a lot in the school, right? All these words are important. They mean something, right? And everything we do comes out of the Bible, right? In the I.S.U.P.K, you're watching. The only reason we do what we do is because it's in the Bible. All right? Mashallah. Sorry. All right. Salaki Braki Allah.
Come, come.
Do any of these words look familiar to you?
Quatazayan is officer.
Quatzazayan, Most High in Christ. Quatzazayan is officer. Right? You can read about officers in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 15, I believe. Right? Moses was commanding Israel to make them captains, officers of thousands, officers of 10,000s. Right? That is straight out of the Bible. That's why we do it in the I.S.U.P.K. Right? Everything out of the Bible is about rank and order. It's militant. The Most High gives us orders. We're to follow it. We're to obey. We're to comply and complete our orders. Right? That's why we say in the I.S.U.P.K, no excuses. No cowards. No excuses. Get it done. We're not allowed to be cowards and make it in the kingdom. The disciples of Christ understood that. Right? Disciples of Christ said, those that are fearful will have their place in the lake of fire, or the lake which is burning with brimstone. Right? Just loosely paraphrasing. Right? We can't make excuses when it comes to taking orders. Are there any other words up here that you're familiar with?
I know in the school we have Officer Shabbat.
Shapat, Khan.
And we have
So
Captain
Shapat is the name of a brother in the school, an officer in the school. And what that means is Shapat is to judge. Right? Shapat is to judge. That is something that's very important that we do. Right? You got Christian pastors teaching their congregation, don't let anybody judge you. Don't judge other people. And that is a direct contradiction to what the disciples of Christ said. We were told that the saints will judge even the smallest matters, the smallest issues, the smallest problems inside the church. And that's what we do. We judge. We take the beam out of our own eye. We get ourselves right. We're not hypocrites. And we let people know, hey, I used to struggle with this, but I don't celebrate Christmas anymore. I used to be a drug addict. I used to smoke cigarettes. In the world, I did all types of sin, all manner of sin. but I changed my life, I don't do it anymore, you can change yours too. We'll show you, help you, give you the steps so that you can change your life, so that you can repent, turn from your sin. You understand? And the generals and the captains that are in the school, a lot of the officers, they are able to judge the smallest matters. They're able to make righteous judgments. That's the job of a priest. Right? Salaki, are there any other words you notice up there?
We also have a Captain Kahan.
Captain Kahan. Captain Kahan. Kahan in the English means priest. Kahan is priest. We have Har, which is mountain. Mashura, which is a high place. Mountain, a government. Malak. Malak, we have king. Shatar. Shatar is another word for officer. Officer. Shapat, Shatar, Quartal, Quartazayan. Malak is king. Kahan is priest. And Nabal Ya'ah is a prophet. All right, all these are things we see in the scriptures. Now, as we start reading through the Bible and we start understanding the importance of understanding words in its original language, when we understand words in the original language, it helps us break down this Bible. Right? For example, you see a word like malak. Malak means king or ruler. Right? Well, sometimes an angel can have that high office. You understand? Sometimes an angel might be a malak. Right? Angel is an English word. And all angel means is messenger. Right? An angel isn't a flying baby with wings. An angel's a messenger. A messenger for the Most High. Right? That means an angel can be a priest, a prophet, a ruler, somebody in a high office. Right? This is why we got to understand what these original words are in the Hebrew. Some people have a tough time understanding, for example, that nobody outside the nation of Israel is going to be saved from our king, because they don't understand what the word Gentile means. They think Gentiles is a race of people. Right? Which is why if you're not in the I.S.U.P.K, you should not teach the Bible. You got people who have, quote unquote, left Christianity, claiming to be a Hebrew Israelite, claiming to understand the Bible, and they're still teaching that these other nations can be saved. And they don't understand what the word Gentile means. Too many people get caught up on words. People thinking that Jesus and Yahweh, or Christ and Yahweh, are the same, because they don't understand what the word God means. They don't understand that God just means power or authority. You understand? What we'll do next is we'll get into a couple common translations, some common mistranslations that people get caught up in. All right? These things are important to know when it comes to understanding the Bible. Right? One of the important things when it comes to understanding the Bible is to understand that we got to separate ourselves from all these doctrines that we've learned in the world. We got to separate ourselves from Christianity, separate ourselves from Islam, separate ourselves from what your professor taught you in university about politics. You understand? The printed Bible we have is called the Holy Bible. A lot of people call it the Holy Bible. Holy is Qadash, right? Qadash means holy. Set apart. All right. We got to be holy. We got to be different. We got to separate ourselves from this world. You understand? And what does it mean to be separate? Have you seen this word before? Qadasha.
Wakan.
What does Qadasha mean?
I'm not sure.
You know? Not sure. Qadasha is the Hebrew word for the word harlot. And what our ancestors understood when they were using this word Qadasha is they were using that word, that root word Qadash, which means to be set apart or to be separate. Qadasha is a harlot, a woman who goes around sleeping with multiple men, or a woman who sleeps with another man's, or Salakia, a woman who sleeps with another man's, Salakia, how do I say that? An adulteress is a man who sleeps with another man's wife. Understand? So a harlot is a woman who's going around sleeping with multiple men. Right? In the Bible, if you lay down with a man or you lay down with a woman, they are yours for life. You understand? And it is against our laws, against our constitution, against the Most High. It's unbrotherly, unsisterly to lay down with another man, or for a man to lay down with another man's wife. You understand? That would be a harlot. So when they're using the word Qadasha, what's in their mind is that they see a woman that they don't want any part of. A woman who's done something who is now looked at as disgusting or filth, or, you know what I mean? She's now done something. She's defiled herself. And people are looking at this woman like, I don't want to be near you. It's a shame for me, for anybody to see me beside you. So I want to separate myself from you. You know what I mean? And that's how they're viewing a harlot. And this is how we have to view sin. This is how we have to view some people who are doing things that we know go against the Most High. You see a brother who's smoking weed every day, and a brother asks you, hey, you want to come smoke some weed? You want to come chill at my place, play some music, get drunk, you know what I mean? Smoke weed all night. You got to look at that brother and say, no, I got to separate myself from you. You don't got to stop talking to him. But the things that he does, you are not to have any part in. You got to be separate. And this is what the nation of Israel is called to be. We're called to be holy. We're called to be set apart. We're supposed to be different from everybody else. We're supposed to carry ourselves in a certain way. We can't be following all these Christian pastors, and the scriptures call it doctrines of devils. These blind leaders leading people into a ditch. We got to separate ourselves from this world. All right? It's important, if you're new to the school, don't mix that old wine with the new. Right? Throw out everything that you knew, everything you knew in the past. Right? You got to be childlike, like babies weaned from our mother's milk. That's what the scriptures say. Right? That's our foundation. Our foundation to learning and growing. Right? So a transliteration I'm put this up in short. If you want to look it up, you can look up the definition. Because a lot of these fake Israelite groups, they don't understand what a transliteration is. Right? A Christian pastor doesn't understand what a transliteration is. Officer Slakia, Captain Tazariak, did a debate with a brother from the Nation of Islam. I think that was maybe 2 months ago. And that brother was getting caught up on words. Caught up on words like God and Allah. Right? He's saying Allah, and where that stems from is the word Al. Al just means power. With the Assyrian, they would say El, Elohim, Allahayim, Allah. It just means power. But that's not the name of the Most High. A power is just somebody who has authority. Right? For example, if you look in book of Genesis chapter, I think it's 2, might be Genesis chapter 1. I'm pretty sure, I'm going to go look it up to be sure, that it says gods with the lowercase g. Let me see if I can pull that up really quick. Or Salaki Braka Allah, can you see if you can pull that up for me? Where it says gods plural. I think it's in Genesis 1, maybe verse 25.
So like in Genesis chapter 3, verse 5.
3 verse 5. Don, what's it read?
For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Okay, Khan, that's one. And is that God's capital G, lowercase g?
Lowercase.
Lowercase g. So let's pull that verse up. You said Genesis chapter 3 and verse 5?
Khan, Wakan.
Khan. So Genesis 3 and verse 5. And ye shall be as gods. That's a lowercase g. So if you go to the Strong's, if you look up Strong's H430, you'll see that the word God or gods with the lowercase g is Elohim. Right? Elohim, or in the Hebrew, Elohim. And all it means is rulers. In some cases, judges. Right? You got a lot of Christians saying that because it says in the book in verse 1 and 1 about in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. That word God just means power, or ruler. Right? And some of these words are just simply mistranslations. Right? Brachiala, do you know what these words mean? Do you know what Easter means?
La.
So another word for Easter is just Passover.
Khan,
You
Wakan.
find that in the book of Leviticus chapter 23. How about ghost?
So like a spirit.
Spirit. Ghost just means spirit. What about devil?
So Salak, the one Edom.
They're right. But there's another word. These are some New Testament mistranslations. Right? Another word for devil.
Deceiver.
Slaki, did you say Edom or demon?
Edom, like Edomites.
Edom, God. God. Another word for devil in the New Testament is just demon. Right? Sometimes as we read through the Bible, we just have mistranslations. But what's important is anytime we're reading something we don't understand, number one, ask the men of the Lord. Ask the men in the I.S.U.P.K to understand what it is you're reading. And if you come to classes, a lot of times what a brother is going to ask you to do, just going to ask you to read the dictionary. Read the definition of the word. Pull up the word in its original language. Pull up the definition of the word. Right? You got some brothers going out studying Hebrew, studying the Assyrian Hebrew, and going to school, some university to learn the Assyrian, and they study, and they start reading and speaking in the Assyrian, thinking that they have a full understanding on the Bible when a lot of these words are already translated for you. All these words are already translated for you. Many times you can just pick up the definition, and somebody who is a Hebrew scholar has already broken down the word. You just have to look at the definition. Right? It's not overly complicated. It's very simple. Right? The scriptures say that God is not the author of confusion. Some of these things are easy to be understood. You just have to remove all the Christianity off of you. Right? If you were to look up the definition of a ghost, you would start thinking that somebody is picking up the light, picking up a lamp, and just walking it over to the room where nobody can see them. Or they think of a ghost, they think of what they saw in the movie. Whereas if they would just understand what that word was translated from, it's very simple. It just means spirit. And you see that word spirit all throughout the Bible. It's the vibe, it's the essence of somebody. Right? In the world, you might think of the Christmas spirit. What is the Christmas spirit? Everybody wears red. You cut down a tree, you put it in your living room. Everybody has gifts under the trees. Maybe there's different foods that you ate around Christmas. That's the Christmas spirit. Well, in the Bible, we're supposed to walk in the spirit of the Most High. Walk after the Spirit of the Most High. Right? Be the Most High's biggest fan. You wore red at Christmas? Well, you make sure you put on the flyest garment that the Most High commands you to wear come Passover. You make sure that you're his biggest fan, his biggest supporter when it comes to not eating pork. Let the world know that this is bad for them. Let your brothers and sisters know that pork is not okay. You understand? Walk in the Spirit of the Most High. Another word that's a mistranslation is the word devil in the New Testament. All devil is a demon. And once you understand it's a demon, you can understand what was going on throughout the entire Bible. It's not a new concept coming in the New Testament from the Old. The New Testament and the Old is the same. It's all the same book. It's the same story. It's the same lessons. It's the same instructions. Nothing changes. All right? So some of these are just some mistranslations in the Bible. Now, a transliteration, something that's, here's a word that's done a little better. Select here, one sec. Right? So this is a transliteration that's done a lot better. And this word is Hebbrew. Or Ibaria. And what this is in the English is Hebrew. All right? A transliteration is a predictable conversion of words. Right? When you go from the Hebrew all the way up to the English, which is a very new language, you can see where some of these characters are coming from. You understand? In the English, we have characters like J, right? J is a very new character. I don't remember the date it came out. You can look that up if you want to look that up on your own if you want the exact date. But I know the letter J is a very new letter. It could have came out around the 1800s. I can be wrong about that date. Look that up if you want the exact date. But the letter J is very new. Right? You read a 1611 King James Bible, there are no J's in that Bible. All right? You're not going to see Jesus, you're going to see I.S.U.P.K. They have eyes with a dot. Right? But this is what a transliteration is. It's just a predictable conversion of words. Right? And what Ibaria means in the English, it just means past. All right? When we read through the Bible, it's not some spooky fairy tale. It's not Harry Potter. It's not a Harry Potter book. It's not a fictional book. The Bible is the history of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It's their history. It's their constitution. It's their instructions on how to live from the Most High. And in that Bible, we have a lot of wise men, right? We had prophets, people like King Solomon. King Solomon was a wise man. He wrote in the book of Ecclesiasticus. He said he saw princes riding on, he said he saw servants riding upon horses. You understand? He saw people who were meant to be slaves, people who were meant to be on the bottom of society in rulership. And it's because that brother read through books like Genesis, where it said the elder shall serve the younger. He understood that that nation of people was meant to be on the bottom. They were meant to be servants. So in the Bible, we have prophecy. We have people who received instructions from the Most High that he gave to the children of Israel. It is not some fairy tale, right? Even a lot of the names like we read in the New Testament, Matthew, Peter, James, right? These are some of those names are just Greek names. It's not something that's hard to be understood. You just got to join the I.S.U.P.K and get the correct understanding. Right? You see the name Jesus, all that means is Joshua. You see James in the New Testament. That's just the Greek name of Jacob. Jacob or Yaakov. Right? All right. So with that said, we're going to end the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class. Let's clap it up. All right. Make sure before you leave the class, you hit that sign out link. I'll get the sign out links in the chat. We're going to give the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. All right. These are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We're the I.S.U.P.K start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. We find it in Numbers 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 to 10. Ma'ashra means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We have the Feast of Dedication coming up, which in the Hebrew is known as Hanukkah. It's on the 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days. That will be on Sunday, the 28th of November, 2021, for 8 days. You can find it in the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verses 52 to verse 61. With that said, men of Israel, I.M.A.D.I.M, which means stand. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, I.M.A.D.I.M Shabbat, I.M.A.D.I.M, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahshai Barak Thumb, Yad Yamatah, means hands down. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Sar Al-Quathim, which means turn and face the sisters. Men of Israel, I.M.A.D.I.M Shabbat, I.M.A.D.I.M, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bashim Yahushai, Yad Yamatah. Class dismissed.
Rhymes hard like they've been viewed by Medusa. 9 million Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to set up in your medulla. Allegata, for the regatta, niggas rolling in with every dollar. They rhyme by black collars like the semi holler. But showstoppers in the rappers in the TV boppers. But now I'm going up patrolling cities in the locker. I put the victims on the clock, modify the chopper. The floor heavy, war ready, and that's burning mama. The marijuana say I got the life inside of it. When I'm a phone, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of cities and writers, but when they hate so good, took the gift to the fight around with me, and I had a nigga be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
We put a tidal wave of emotion upon a planet coming up in the street. You suffer like a nut. From a terrorist structure ain't the first of the last of the black. Love is anybody from the party. You got to play like the flow. But it's the school of the hard knocks. We hard rocks. From the best move talk school. You get your heart operated on your mind. It's what the Christian church made it all the lies. And that nightmare that you waiting on to go out of the sky. Listen, but watery eyes. And the national history. Just love us the show. Kids on the power with the peace. We turn the drama into peace. We keep them on the path of the